Sir.
All right, Hot Breath the Verse. Welcome back to Hot Breath, the show where you learn comedy from the pros. This is Comedians on Skype Talking Comedy, where you get to ask your favorite questions to your favorite comedians. And today's guest is one of my absolute favorites, one of the most unique voices in comedy.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, the very awake Shane Torres, everyone. Give it up for the yawning Shane Torres.
Oh, what's up, everybody? What's up, East Coast? How you doing? This is for everybody, but it's special for you.
He wouldn't do this. We interrupted his morning coffee to get him on the show, everyone. So show some love for Shane here. Ask some good questions.
I'm in high media demand. I'm in high media demand.
You've got all the heat right now, Shane. You've got all the heat.
I got all the hot breath.
Hey, that's right. Yeah, we've had a lot of your
Got
friends
all-
on here, so it's exciting to get you
Yeah.
on here. So,
Oh, they aren't my friends. They're my competitors.
is that the mindset? Is that how you've been so
They're
successful?
all. No, no, yeah, no, fucking Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Sorry, just watching The Last Dance and got all stirred up.
It seems like in listening to interviews of you and all that, it almost seems like you have the opposite approach where you try to be super nice, and a lot of that has actually garnered success. Am I correct in assuming that, or is it all a facade?
I mean, I just think it's good to be nice, you know? Like I don't it's not a professional approach to me. Like if people don't like me and I'm nice to them, they can go fuck themselves. I don't have to be nice to anybody. But like I believe it's good to be good to people. You know what I mean? Like I don't like it when people flex or have status because typically, and I've seen it a bunch, it's like anybody who's flexing when they have status, if I've known them before they didn't flex like that, before they had a gig or a high profile thing,
Uh-huh.
and it's a condition of the business, I think, but and they're not bad. They just flex, they have a little more weight to throw around, so they get a little more, and that's not like bad, but like, I don't fuck that, dude. It's nice to be, it's good to be nice, and I know plenty of people who are very successful and like huge names, and they couldn't be more decent people. So, like, I think you just be nice. Anybody who's flexing can kiss my fucking ass.
And, yeah, you've been around
Yeah.
people like at the level of like a Will Smith. So you've seen the top of the mountain, not the syrup mountain, but the top of the mountain. Like, what was it like being around literally like the 1%? If we're talking about entertainment, it doesn't get much bigger than Will Smith. What was that experience like? And did you learn anything from it? Like, what was that whole thing?
Um, well, it was a thing for Quibi that's not out yet,
Oh, cool.
and
Okay.
we'll see how it does. The current climate has really affected it, but it was a thing. Will Smith, apparently, he did this thing that was very successful on his YouTube page, where he had a bucket list of things he wanted to try in his life, and he was just kind of documenting them and sharing them, and kind of neat. And then one of the things he wanted to do was stand up. He said he did stand up and he liked it, but never wanted to do it again. But he saw that it was very creative and interesting work, and so he came up with an idea for a show, and that's what we all did. Like all me and a bunch of other comedians. It's hard to learn a lot from a man like that in that kind of environment because he's um, giving his time to so many people. You have to like, you get one-on-one moments with him and stuff for sure, but uh, you can't monopolize his time. It's not fair. Like it's a little rude and not fair and to everybody else, in my opinion. So like maybe that goes to me being too nice. Maybe I should have tried to, but I don't. Yeah, you learn a lot just by watching him. Like I was watching him and I was like, this guy's a fucking industry. Like it's insane to like watch him and be like, you make everybody a shitload of money. Like it was wild. Just watch because everybody's around. Like he he started this show, and there's. So I was thinking about, like, I think there were 12 comics doing it, and then all the crew and all the staff and all the catering and all the people that are just doing production and people who are writing and shooting. And it was just like, he just did this. He just made this happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking bananas. Yeah, so like that's a man's an industry. So I'm sure there'll be plenty to learn from him. But he was really nice, and like on the second day of shooting, he walked up to me. He was like, "How you doing? Good to see you, Shane." Like, like he seemed to he seemed present, which is like a really big thing with celebrities. A lot of the time, I think some of the people I have met in that world are not. Like they're not giving you their attention, but he was, which I really enjoyed a lot from him.
Well,
And,
someone
fucking super handsome, like crazy, like still in person. Like you're like, I don't know if it's Hollywood magic in person too, but son of a bitch.
he looked 4K in person.
Oh, dude, we all look 4K. It's just how we look in 4K.
Yeah. Let's go on the opposite side of the look spectrum to Bert Kreischer. What?
That's my buddy.
You've opened for him several times. You've been on tour with him. We had Dusty Slay on here sharing some funny stories of being on tour with him, but he was coming from, he's sober. He was having to drink coffee to keep up. But you seem to be in the lion's den with him, like out there in the thick of it. But just as a comedian, and all the comedians that watch this and all the super comedy nerds that watch this, like, could you take us into that world of going on tour with Bert Kreischer?
I'll spare you some of the details. There has been, it's very interesting. Because the man, like, he does party. We all party. But he also, his work is the most important thing. So that's what takes priority. Like, he drinks after the shows, not during or before them. Like maybe if we have a brunch or something, he might have like a Bloody Mary. Like, not a Bloody Mary, but like that. I've never really seen him drink before shows now that I think about it. Or if we're having a nice dinner or something, we might have wine. But I don't think I've ever seen him drink before a show. Now that I think about it, but I doubt. But he's a pro. Like it's very interesting because the way he goes, I think in some ways, like he sells a shitload of tickets and a shitload of people come out, but him talking to as many people, and Bert's one of those people who does not have an ego, and he tries hard to be inclusive. He sells a lot of tickets after his shows, I think, by being nice, meaning when he shakes a lot of hands and talks to people, it really goes a long way, and they want to come back. I think it means a lot to them, and he recognizes that. And then we go to the bus and we get fucked up. We get on tour bus and have a few cocktails. Then before you know it, it's 5 a.m. and then the bus is starting when you're laying in your bunk, and you wake up and you're just like, guess we're on our way to Wilmington or wherever, like, and then,
what do you do on the bus?
Yeah.
What being on tour, like in just the dead time, what's happening?
There's not a lot to do. Bird shoots a lot of stuff, he's always like, he creates a lot of content. I will write or try and work on my own career during the day when I'm not working for Bert, in the sense that I'm not on stage or like prepping or anything. Like I'm happy to help with it, whatever, really. But like you go on the drive. Sometimes you sit there and watch TV. Like sometimes it's like a day off, but you have a show. It's not like depending on how long, if the drive is 3 hours and you leave at 10 a.m., like typically like someone will have gotten coffee or have made coffee. People will wake up if you're up, like sometimes you sleep super fucking late and you don't even recognize, like And they're like, "Oh my God, it's 2:30. We were up till 7." That kind of shit happens every once in a while when you go nuts. I'm trying not to have give you too many salacious details. Not that they're it would. Here's the thing: you would see it because it's very glitzy and glamoury, man, and it's so fun on the outside. But on at the end of the day, on the bus, it's mostly guys talking about dumb shit, getting a little more drunk than they should, and then going to bed. Like it's not great. Like this isn't Motley Crue. Like we're not doing. Like it's not the kind of like. It's not really the house. It's a good time,
Of course.
but it's not like a fucking friend. Like it's not. That's not really the house that he keeps and the way he runs shit.
Yeah, that one was interesting too.
Yeah, I mean, like it's fun, and we get fucked up, and we eat a lot of good food and stuff. It's just kind of like being on vacation a lot with getting to do comedy and getting paid. Like you eat a lot, you drink a lot, we will go like exercise during the day and stuff, to try and sweat some of this shit out. But yeah, it's not like there's no fucking nuts store. One night we all made a playlist and we were just listening to like Dion and Jackie Wilson and stuff and drunk driving through the night, and that was super fun. Yeah.
That's what was interesting talking with
Yeah,
Dusty
like
Slade.
everybody's loaded just listening to fucking old, Bill Bell songs.
Yeah, that seems to be the
Poor
consensus.
fucking Dusty. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, but it was like, well, during the day,
Yeah.
he's a person, he's a businessman, and he doesn't drink till after the show. It's like there's a reason he's successful, and it's not because he's drunk every waking minute. It's because he actually does treat show business like a business.
Yeah, no, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
As Greg Giraldo once said, "It's show biz, not show fun." And I was that was pretty funny.
That's great.
But yeah, you gotta, like if we want to have a career, you have to treat it like one. So,
Is there anything? Is he like?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what he
with-
does. That's what I'm trying to do.
Like, yeah, when is he helpful with like, does he give you advice in terms of business advice or stand-up advice, or like what have you learned from him from like an actual comedian perspective?
He will. Well, you learn by watching, and keeping your mouth shut. Like, there's a lot to learn, and like I can't really go into specific lessons. But I would say like watching Bert and watching at this level, I think that and having open for other people that are at big levels is that there's it's not just about the stage, and it's not just about off stage or something. It's about business. There's so many facets to it. It's a fucking business. And you creating your content and being a great entertainer is the most important part of this business. But it is not the only part, like by a long shot. Like there are a lot of things. You have to work with good people. You have to work with smart people. Like I remember people being like, I was talking to somebody's manager, and I was opening for them on like a special or something, and sitting there, and they were like, they didn't like his manager and I were just bullshitting and talking. Nice enough person for a suit, and we're bullshitting and talking. He goes, fucking. They had a picture of the comedian up on like a beer ad or something, and they weren't supposed to do that. We're gonna have to. They either have to take that down, or we're gonna have to ask for more money. It's like shit like that you don't think of. It's like that's not a thing I would give a fuck about really, but that's why those people are there. That's how they're supposed to earn money for you. Like that's to make sure those things don't get taken advantage. So there's those kind. You want to work with smart people. You want to work in the right venues. You want to get the right audience in. You want to make the best comedy you are capable of making, and then make it better the next time. You want, you want to know how much money you're spending. You want to work with openers that suit your style. Things like that, man. It's not a joke. It's big business. That's how you learn. You don't learn like you learn other particular lessons, like maybe do this joke this way and this kind of thing, like uh, and you learn like this bit should flow into this bit this way, and you know those things already. I know some of them already, and then you like think about what you've forgotten. But there's just a million things to learn in this business.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, I get wound up. I had my coffee.
You're not. No, please.
Is that what you were looking for?
You are not getting too wound up, my man. That's the info we're looking for. Is that kind of insight that isn't available? That's what this show tries to capture. Are those kind of behind the scenes insights that haven't really been on record before? Because that helps create better comedy and better comedians.
Yeah, you need to focus on getting good. Yeah.
Focus on getting.
You have to focus on getting good. It's like I'm still doing that, and then you focus on. Opportunities will present themselves if you put yourself in the position to get them. Then you kill those, and you learn. Don't like I've done, and I'm saying this out of experience of having done it the wrong way. Don't treat every event that you get into like a party that you need to get fucked up at. Go treat it like a business. Like when I went to did News Faces, I was shit faced, and it didn't go well, and they were wrong, but
they were wrong because
I can feel like no, they weren't wrong to have me. I mean, they were the people that were there to like supposed to be looking at me for talent and stuff.
Okay.
Who didn't come after me were wrong. I sincerely believe that. But I also didn't make it easy on them when I was shit-faced, I wasn't so shit-faced I blew an opportunity. Like, nobody was looking. So I got shit-faced.
Ah, gotcha. It seemed to have all worked out.
And then, and then you find a good comic, a good senior comic that'll talk you off the butts. Yeah, we'll fucking see. Using the phrase "it all worked out" these days is a pretty relative term, man.
Well, you're still only really, even all your success, you're still only still beginning, in my opinion, in terms of where you're headed. Because we're about to get into people's questions, but I think a big thing I've learned from being a fan of you and studying you is like being singular. In the sense of being uniquely you on stage and off stage, not trying to fit a specific mold or trying to appease to an opportunity, but it seems like you have a natural skill of knowing who you are, having that self-awareness, and just letting that be the magnet where all your success comes from.
I really appreciate that, but I think nothing could be further. I have no idea who I am half the time.
But I
literally have woken up and be like, "Who is this?" Yeah. So, I'll say this, and I think this might help answer your statement. Is that like, I think, my goal has always been this. Maybe not always, but pretty early on, was to tell jokes that only I could tell, meaning they sounded like my jokes and I sound like me, and like I'm writing my own way. And there were times where I certainly did not do that in comedy. Like I did, like very early on, I was I was just trying stuff and to be overly influenced by comedians I was watching, and I remember, I think my second set ever, I acted like I thought a comedian should act. And that's like a gross thing because comedians don't have to act any certain way. They still have to be funny. I think when people say they're not acting like a comedian, it can also be very bad because I think that means they don't have to try and they think that means they don't have to try and they guise it in bullshit acts, like it's not good, but you're like, they can do it, you don't get it kind of thing, like if it's too abstract, and nothing is actually too abstract, it's just not executed well, I think, which is what I mean. So I think be yourself, nobody wants to see an imitation of Seinfeld, and I don't want to see an imitation of Bert, and you just want I want it to be interesting. So I like seeing interesting people do new things I haven't seen. or I like seeing people who have done great stuff make more great stuff.
Perfect.
Nobody wants to see fucking Shane Battier set a pick. That's not why you go to the Madison Square Garden. You go because you want to see LeBron throw a dunk down. Like, they're both important things, but you get it.
Yeah, that's a great analogy too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get into fan questions here. And this first one, let's get Chase in here first because he's actually watching from work right now. He's such a big fan. He's watching this from work. So let's get his question.
He's in a place that's open?
Yeah, I think he works at like a car shop, like a mechanic. So I guess they've been working on cars because he'll tune in from work a lot. So this one from Chase Bonin.
We'll be sure he puts those fucking brake pads in.
Yeah, that's a great. He's probably huddled in the bathroom just waiting on his question to get answered.
Yeah. What's your question, Chase?
Says, first off, I saw you at Club 337 in Lafayette, and it has been the funniest comedy show I've ever seen so far. When you say you laugh like a bully's friend or your laugh is haunting, is
Where?
that... Say what? Did I cut out?
Where did he see me?
At Club 337 in Lafayette.
Oh yeah. I know that. It's a good spot.
Oh right,
JP
yeah, I love that place. That's my
JP
favorite.
Leonard's room. Yeah.
Oh yeah, JP pops in here a lot too. Yeah. Yeah, I've done his beer garden show. I haven't done.
Yeah. What was the question? Oh, sorry.
Club 337.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, he's the best. I love him.
We have. Let me say. Oh, here it is. Okay. When you say you laugh like a bully's friend or your laugh is haunting, is that written into your sets or is it a spontaneous thing you'll do to maintain momentum?
I have done that with that line. I don't know, like I've used that line to build momentum or like keep momentum in an act. Like when somebody has a particular laugh, you say something like that, but it's really just about it being present. You yourself being present. Like when you hear somebody with a particular laugh, or a waitress drops a pile of drinks, or whatever, somebody's chair slides to a. If you acknowledge it, you have to be present. Like that's it. Like if you are not present doing comedy, then it is not your best stuff ever. And that is something. I can't say I've done it every night, but I try hard. Like everybody paid to get a sitter, or do whatever. And when comedy clubs come back soon, hopefully, people are going to be going through even more trouble and have more on their minds. You need to give them something great. They're still spending their fucking money. You know what I mean? Like, it's why you're there.
So that
you're there to do
like
a great job
lines?
and be funny for yourself, number one. But other people are paying for their experience watching you. Yeah. So being in my mind, they have. Yeah, I don't think they're written really as much as they are just like a little trick I have that I use. Which even that I don't know is something I want to be doing anymore, because if it's a trick, then it kind of can become a habit, and then it can become a bad habit. So like I may like move away from that, not being present necessarily, but like using lines that are essentially not as spontaneous as they look.
All right. Well, good question.
Which I think is bad, actually. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I tried to be candid and pulled the curtain back too much, Chase.
No, that's good to know, because he's a comedian.
Check under the hood for me.
All right. Next one coming from Christopher Christopher C.J. James. Will Shane Torres vote Guy Fieri for president?
What?
Will you vote Guy Fieri for president?
What's the question?
That's what
No,
the question was. No.
Man, look, come on. Let's it. What a dick. Seriously. I'm not. I mean, I'd have to look at his policies, I guess. But probably not, man. No, he's I'm sure he's a sweet enough dude, but yeah, not. I don't know if I want him politicking. We already have one television personality in the White House, and it's fucking dicking us over pretty good.
Are you tired of that?
Yeah.
Are you tired of that joke? Like, are you tired of having talking about that joke?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't care. I don't care. I get it. It's a thing I got known for, but it's like I'm very well determined to not be a one-hit wonder.
Boom.
You know, like that's not a thing I want. And I guess that makes sense. You know, like clearly that makes sense, but and I don't think I am. I think that's just the thing. Like, that is a thing that went viral, and people who have only watched that will know me from, which is fine. You know, but I have jokes that are better than that joke. That just happens to be at the moment. It's a great bit, and I'm proud of it, but it just happens to be hit at the right time. Not just happened to, but it hit at the right time. It was a good take, and I'm very proud of it. And I think the joke makes sense, and I think it's a valuable lesson in the joke. But I do think I've written jokes that are funnier. And I think if people look at my body of work, and when my next special comes out, whenever that is, they'll see that too. So, yeah.
Where did it start? Because, the Conan clip is a 4-minute bit, but what was the first line of that entire bit that really sparked that, oh, I'm onto something here?
Oh, I thought it was hacky that people used him as a reference all the time.
Okay.
I thought it was an airport. Like, when I would go to comedy and people were just like, oh, Guy Fieri's fuck you, dude. You want to shit on this dude for the exact same thing. The irony of it is that they didn't get that's exactly what they were doing. Is the thing they were making fun of him for creating bad, for lack of a better word, content. You know, and then I was just like, and then I thought to myself, it was I knew they weren't bad people that were making these jokes, but I was just like, and I thought to myself, the line was just well, what did he ever do that was that bad?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then the line that followed was that's where the joke writing came in, and it started there. It was because as far as I can tell, all he ever did was follow his dreams, and then that's where I really started doing heavy lifting on the joke after that.
So, and is that heavy lifting pen to paper? Well, who else do we treat like this? And then Nickelback comes up. What is that heavy lifting?
There's a little bit. I mean, that goes into the way I think, or anyone would think. The heavy lifting comes in. So that's a premise, and that's one line of a joke. Mm-hmm. That part of that Fieri bit, and so the rest of it is how do I want to be creative in this bit, and what direction do I want to take this in? Do I want to make it hypothetical? Do I actually want to research? There's a million ways to go about it. And that's where becoming a comedian and peppering your dish of comedy for people comes in. That's not, if I could have left it there, and it could have just been a 10-second joke. I could have left it ... and washed my hands of it. That would have been enough. For me, that's a clever joke. He probably could have done more with that, is what people would have said. But I think I got a lot out of it. And I started thinking about what is next, what else is in that world, what makes sense, it's just all, you could kind of reverse engineer sometimes, and you're like, well, this is kind of like sometimes you get so close to a bit in a joke to make you making such a good point that just the way you feel about something can support the joke by like saying it. Yeah, like, and I don't know exactly how to explain it, but I know I've seen it done. If you showed me someone's bit, I could like what's next to something is what's next to your subject or your point or joke to it. Okay, so I'll reference myself. So on my album, I do a bit about weddings and about people and the bit after it is a bit about babies falling out of windows. But weddings and babies go together, kind of like they live next to one another in a neighborhood of subject matter, and there's no transition, but like that's a feeling. When I did that, and I did the jokes like that live, and I would do them like that live, and they're that way on the it's that one follows the other. It's not hard for me to see, for anyone to see how I got to that from wedding nights to babies. It wasn't like wedding nights and then like Tiger King, like I did, or whatever horse, like they, like you like, yeah. So that can be an element in a joke.
And even your like,
so that's it.
It seems how you say things as well, because you did study like vocal performance in college, and it seems like you are intentional about saying things louder sometimes or saying them quieter, and like the intonation you have. It seems like you take it down to that fine of an approach, or am I just overanalyzing?
Yeah. No, I use tone and volume. I use tone and volume for sure. But everyone does. Maybe I am a little too inflective with how I use it, but I know like Hedberg used tone, like more maybe better than most people. Like Lewis Black uses tone and volume. Like Michael Che uses tone. It's just different. Like, I mean, and maybe my range changes a little more than a lot of people's, but yeah, everyone uses tone and volume. But it's like that is a tool to keep an audience. It's a tool to there's a variety of ways to use it. But that is a way an audience stays present when your tone shifts. It's a way for you to inflect jokes. It's a way for you to like calm an audience down. There's a lot of weapons with tone. There's a lot of ways to use it as a weapon.
So to calm an audience down, you almost bring your voice down, so then they have to listen harder and then go higher when you really want to like emphasize something. Is that what
kinda? You can't. Yeah, I mean, kinda. That's it. But like, you can also use it to build. Like I have a 6-minute joke about everything bagels, and the tone is pretty much the same the whole time, but it builds the longer it goes. I mean, the weapon in that joke isn't necessarily the way. There's these like massive blistering punchlines in it, but there are these ways that it kind of builds, even though it stays the same place. Because like there's a way to hold people in their pocket. It's like someone carrying an egg on the back of their hand or something. Like you can. That is a way to like build tension. It's just to like walk around like like is he going to hold it? Is he going to be able to keep it? Is it what's coming out? How is this going to change? Like that's a way to do it.
And when it comes to the physicality side, it seems you're intentional about like having your like hand on your hip, and you will kind of like emphasize different like. I'm guessing that's intentional because I've seen it on your Conan and also your other sets. So it's like, what's going on here?
It's just was like OCD, and then it's
Uh-huh.
just a habit I have. I don't know, man. It is what it is now.
Oh,
It might be a little too late to change it. I wish I could, and people might be like, well, he's not so weird after all. But we'll see if that changes.
oh, okay. So that's just something as a
Yeah,
comedian you're constantly evolving, and that's just kind
but
of
I
a
do. It's a
wrinkle you're
tick.
working to iron
Then
out.
I guess, or I would just say it's just a thing I do.
Okay.
Some people jiggle their keys in their pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like chew on to like it's just a habit I have, a tick. Some people favor to look to their left than to their right on stage. Some
Yeah.
people uh, just are that way.
Cool.
Some
Okay.
people strut, some people pause. Just a thing I do, I guess.
Cool. Yeah, you
Yeah,
see, I go like deep. I like see something, and I'm like, but why? So that's why I kind of nerd out on that stuff.
yeah. No, yeah, yeah. You're overthinking. You're overthinking that horse shit.
But I wasn't overthinking the voice stuff, so we're on the right track with that. Um, so yeah,
Yeah,
let
you're one out of two. You're batting 150.
all right. So yeah, let's run through these questions here. Sorry, kids, I got a little carried away because then just being a fan and just seeing how unique you are on stage, I always love to know the process behind that. This one comes from Aaron Despiva. He asks, "Do you have any?"
Oh shit! Calm down. I'm blowing smoke up my ass.
All right. So the next question
Do
here,
it.
Aaron Despiva. He says, "Do you have a dream project you would like to do, a sitcom or otherwise?"
Um. Yeah. It's I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm working on something. A couple of things. Some of them are not dream projects. Some of them are just things I'm excited about, and then some are like big ones. But I'm holding those close to the vest right now. But I do have them. But I don't like. I have them because the dream project is to have a nice life through comedy and perform the way I want and get the things I want out of it. Uh, and that comes with assembling other building blocks and making good things.
Cool. Very diplomatic answer there. So let's move on to the next one,
Thank
though.
you. I don't
That's
know what.
it was informative, but still, it was like an egg on the back of your hand. We're still like, oh, there's something happening there, but he's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's still good. Yeah, that's good to know though. The next,
I uh,
yeah,
I'll tell you this. There's a delay. There's
yeah,
a delay. So anytime I make a joke, it takes so long for you to laugh at it. I'm like, oh my god, I'm just dying and bombing here. So there's like a real delay on the Skype. So like you're just like, and I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, I want to make beautiful stuff, and you're just like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
right. Yeah, I've noticed the delay as well. I've noticed the
and
delay
then
as well.
yeah,
Because like I'll say something
yeah.
and then I'll start talking through what you're saying, probably as we go back and forth now. But I'm using my phone as a hotspot because my internet has been glitchy today and I didn't want to risk it. So we have the glitch anyway, which is perfect. But
You're in Atlanta, right?
yes.
Are you in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Oh,
so yeah,
give me another question.
yeah, we got let's this with Justin Williams and then John. Yeah, so, all right. So Justin Williams asks, "What's your favorite place to perform?"
Um, clubs. I mean, you get that question a lot. So the clubs, it's like on the road, it's Comedy on State, Helium, Portland, my home club. In New York, it's the Comedy Cellar. There is no greater place. Cities like Chicago, Zanies is great. There, the people are very good to me there, and I love Chicago as a city. Boston is great. I like cities, so it's shows they may not know about. I mean, you know about Star Bar in Atlanta. That's one of my favorite places ever to play. The Vid Sam Bones Room, the Dragon's Den in New Orleans is great. And then there's a ton of independent shows that are awesome. But JJ's in Chattanooga is wild and super fun.
I've done that. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a ton of them, really, but they're all different. Yeah. I mean, this Cellar in New York is Mecca level stuff.
Yeah, I saw a photo with you on stage with Dave Attell there.
Pretty, yeah. Oh, and Will. Yeah, and Sylvance. There's the other person in it. Yeah, the three of us. Yeah, Dave brought me on stage. It was pretty cool. That's a big moment. Yeah.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah. No, this is a big moment. That's a pretty cool moment.
John Barwick asks, was he a manager at Arby's?
No, it was a couple of different local a local burger chain in Texas, and then TGI Fridays. But Arby's is funnier as a word, so I used Arby's.
Nice. Pulling back the curtain here, kids.
Yeah.
Awesome. And and Chase says he likes how Patton Oswalt uses tone and volume as well. This is cool.
He's brilliant.
Yeah. Have you worked with him?
Patton's great at. New special out today, I think. Yeah. We've worked together a few times. He's been nice enough to have me on stuff. He did. I opened for him on the special before this past one, this one that comes out today. I opened on that special. One of my big crowning moments to date in comedy is he did a podcast, and on the podcast they asked him if he could steal someone's joke, whose would it be? And he said Gary Goldman's state capitalist joke and mine. And I love Patton. He's like a guy for me, like in comedy, that is like very important. So that was very flattering.
Yeah, the Guy Fieri joke, right? You're saying?
Yeah. It wasn't the ex-girlfriend shampoo bottle joke. So, but yeah, it was huge when it happened, and even now, with all this going on, when I need to think of some good things, that might be a thing I think of on occasion.
It sounds like we're talking about you getting asked to come on stage with Dave Attell, and like Patton Oswalt saying things like that. I mean, are there any others of those moments that come to mind that it's just like, is this real life type of deal?
It's always flattering, man. Because those people are great. You know what I mean? Like, and they're brilliant. A Gaffigan walked up to me once at a show and was like, he talked to me about the bit. That's flattering. Spending time with people when they treat you as a peer, no matter who they are, that have had real success. That's cool. It feels good because it feels like you're capable. Like they're not just giving it out, and they're not like, I'm good. I know I'm good, but it's nice to see it from people who have had success.
And this could tie into our final question, actually, of who is your biggest influence from the past, and who is another young comic you think people should pay attention to?
Hmm. I think Sam Evans is a comedian people should be watching
Okay.
all the time. I think he's brilliant. He's a good friend, but he's got an album coming out next week called Sweet Baby Boy. People should check it out. And influence, it's I feel like all my influences have been canceled due to their bad conduct. So like I feel like maybe I shouldn't
Really?
say it, but not all of them. Like I loved Louis and I loved you love people, so it's just, and that's like, but I mean they were big for me, but somebody, like it's a weird question to ask, I think, because it makes you like whimsical and you think about people that did that for you and then like, oh yeah, they turned out to be fucking scumbags. Attell is a person I love. It's comedy I love watching. I love Kathleen Madigan. I think she's great. And somebody who really did it and still does it. And then, like, I mean, I guess they're kind of peers of mine, but Jackie Cation and Laurie Kilmartin are both amazing. I would say peers on the sense of like we work in the same places and stuff, but I think they're just so special. And I remember watching Jackie years and years ago before I'd even heard of Laurie. It's just like this woman is blistering, like it's just brilliant.
All right. Well, this has been great, Shane. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, this was very nice. Is there any closing advice or wisdom you could bestow upon us comedians before we depart here? Or anything you've learned? How long have you been doing comedy, Shane?
12 years.
12 years? So, I mean, is there anything, because it's even more just like things you've learned along the way. Like, is there anything you've learned that you could like share with us to kind of help the next generation of comedians?
I think work hard, be smart, and be nice are pretty simple things,
Mm-hmm.
I think they're pretty easy to do, and they go a long way. And yeah, I think, do it. Take it seriously. If you want to be a career, treat it like a career.
Boom. Well, all right. There you have it. Hot breath of verse.
Yeah.
Shane Torres. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause.
Can I plug something?
Let them know. I was just about to say let them know everything and how they can support you.
You need to watch Good God tonight on Twitch at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
It's my show. I do with a few other comedians. We have a very good lineup tonight. It's on the Hold the Phone channel on Twitch.
Okay.
It's a live stream comedy show. Tim McLaughlin, Michael Fox, tons of great people. Tom Takar from Conan, Phoebe Bottoms, Caitlin Cook from Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Lots of great stuff. Music, comedy, fun. So tune in. I want people to watch it. God damn it.
All right. Anywhere else you want them to go and to support Shane Torres?
Keep an eye out for shit when this all blows over. I'll be back, and I can't wait to see you guys out there at shows.
Awesome. All right. Well, Shane Torres, thank you for being on Hot Breath, my man.
All right.